And Korean exports to China are on a downward trend, which is concerning many industry analysts here in Korea, as China is Korea's largest trading partner. Perhaps more troubling is that this trend could extend for a longer period of time, as experts point out that it stems from a structural issue rather than a temporary phenomenon. Kim Ji-yeon reports.
There's no short fix to declining Korean exports to China. The problems are structural, as China is increasingly producing the parts and equipment that once were imported from Korea. This is why the Woori Finance Research Institute says boosting exports to China is going to be a long, painstaking process. According to a new report from the Seoul-based think tank, Korea's exports to China, which are mostly comprised of intermediate and capital goods, dropped by around 2% and 7% respectively during the January to September period year on year. Korea's exports of flat panel displays dropped by more than 9% over the same period to $12.5 billion. The report warns that this downward trend could affect Korea's economic growth, since China is Korea's largest trade partner, making up more than a quarter of Korea's total exports. When taking Hong Kong into account, the proportion shoots up to nearly 30%. But it's a different story for other regions. Exports to China from the United States, the European Union, and ASEAN member countries are slowly inching up. Ho Moon-jung of the Woori Finance Research Institute told Seoul-based Yonhap News that Korea needs to increase its exports of consumer goods and high-tech parts and materials. He says in the case of Europe, consumer goods, particularly luxury items, make up a high portion of its exports to China. In contrast, the proportion of Korea's consumer goods, which include automobiles and wireless communication devices, comprise just over 3% of all exports to China. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.